Oh no, a housing bubble in Ajijic Lake Chapala? Let's find out. Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here.
Lori, in this video, what we're going to present to our viewers is first-hand information. We're going to talk to a real estate agent that has tons of experience down here, and we're going to find out what you, as a consumer, maybe you want to buy a house, maybe you don't. But these would be some of the questions that you would ask a real estate agent. We're going to find out firsthand on what you need to know, the pros and cons on buying a home in Mexico. Should you buy one or should you wait? So let's go talk to Michael, and he'll give us the firsthand information on what you need to know.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Come on. Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels, and I want to introduce you to Mike Kavanaugh, who has a real estate company here in Ajijic, Mexico. And Michael, tell us a little bit about your company.
My company has been in business here for probably 20 years. I've been the owner for the last 8 years.
Okay.
So here I am. I have a real estate company and the largest rental property management company in the area, with over 100 houses under management.
Well, living in Mexico, it definitely is different than up north in the United States or Canada. So Michael, what are the questions that somebody would need to ask, or the information they would need coming in and being able, let's say, talk to a real estate agent and get the best information out of that source?
Well, you can purchase a home in Mexico on a tourist visa.
Okay.
If you buy a home, if you find a home, you purchase a home. When you go to the closing, you have to have your valid tourist visa to show the notario. Okay. And the notarios are lawyers that are specifically identified to close on real estate, to do corporate papers, wills, etc. The buyers pay the closing costs, which is the fee to the notario. That runs anywhere about between 2 and 2.5% of the home's purchase price.
Okay, well that's not bad then.
No.
And so, yeah, in that regard, that's cheaper than up north, isn't it?
No.
No.
I think it's more money.
Is it more money?
Yeah.
Okay. So Michael, as I understand, a notario here, he's also doing a title search.
He does all of the legal work required to ensure there are no liens on the property. It's registered in the name of the owner, so there are no problems.
Okay, so
exactly.
It's a guaranteed title that they receive.
They receive an actual deed.
A deed, okay.
After the closing, usually in about a month or a month and a half, the buyers will receive the registered deed from the notario, that they can keep personally. The only area where you still have to have a deed in trust is within 50 kilometers of the Pacific Ocean or the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, so
those still have to be held in trust by the bank.
So from the coast, once you get 50 kilometers away, then you can actually get a deed.
You can have an actual deed.
Okay, and you can put that in your safety deposit box or whatever.
Exactly.
Where the other one, it's in a deed of trust.
Held in trust by a bank.
By a bank, okay.
Say you have a property at the beach.
Yeah.
Okay. The deed is held in trust by the bank. You still own that property. You can sell that property. You can give it to your kids, and they can continue to live in that property for the next 500 years. You own the property. The deed is held somewhere else, other than your hot little hand.
It's not like a 99-year lease or anything like that. Okay.
No.
Okay, that's good. Now, one of the things I hear about down here is there's no zoning. So a person could look at a piece of property and they could think, well, this is really great, and they pick it up, and all at once, after they buy it, 2 days later, bang, a guy brings in a carpenter shop or a mechanic shop, and there's no guarantees that there's a zoning.
No.
Okay.
No.
And is there a disclosure here? In other words, where the real estate agent has to disclose that they had heard that maybe that property is involved. So there's nothing like that here.
No.
So that's why it's important to be able to get a real estate agent who you can trust.
The real estate agent might not know
Right.
that someone is planning to, there may be a house next door to the house they bought. They don't know that a brother-in-law might open a carpenter shop in the garage.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about that.
Right, okay.
Most responsible agents will let people know about the neighborhood they're looking at buying in and give them the pluses and minuses of that particular location.
Tell us a little bit more about your company, what you provide, what services you provide, besides, and maybe elaborate a little bit on each one of them.
I recommend, I didn't do this, but I recommend that people come down and rent for 3 to 6 months somewhere to become aware of the community, the different communities around, the different neighborhoods. Don't jump into anything unless you're positive what you find is what you really want.
Right.
Yeah. In the real estate company, we list properties for sale, and if buyers come in, we work with buyers to purchase property. Well, the local real estate group has a multiple listing service that all homes go on, so they're easily accessible and viewable. You can look at them by price or by area, by square footage of construction or square footage of lot. There's multiple ways for you to find what you're looking for.
Okay, so now let's say somebody is researching on the MLS and they see a property, maybe it's not even listed with your company.
I understand.
Can you show them that property?
Of course. Any property on the MLS can be shown by any other real estate agent or broker who's part of the MLS. That's no problem whatsoever. We have a great location for our office right on Cologne, right in the center of Ajijic. And most of our business are referrals or walk-ins that see the sign and they come in and they're directed to me, and I talk to them, find out what they're looking for, and we go from there. I always ask, what is your price range?
Yeah.
There are no sweet deals anymore.
They're not.
There are no sweet deals anymore. Almost all of the homes on the MLS, if someone really wants to sell and someone really wants to buy, the buyer's agent and the seller's agent can usually negotiate a selling price that is satisfactory to everyone involved.
Okay.
All sellers are motivated because they've taken the time to list the property.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean they're necessarily pushed for a deal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people who've been here for years maybe have to move because of health reasons. Their children want them to come back home, wherever home is. Some people want to sell their home because they want to buy another home in the area.
Right. When upgrade
or downsize.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's the same thing in the States.
Right.
The same factors are involved with real estate.
What type of property taxes are here?
Well, they're very, very low. If you have a 5,000 square foot house on a 10,000 square foot lot, your property tax might be $500 a year.
$500 a year?
$500 a year.
Not a month?
No, $500 a year.
Wow.
And most of the houses in the village of, say, 3,000 square feet, your property taxes are going to be $150 to $200 a year.
A year. That's unbelievable. Construction of the homes down here. Tell a little bit about what's the major construction.
All of the homes here are built with steel and concrete and brick and block.
Okay. And so that leads into the next question about insurance on a home here.
You know, what can
Most
they expect?
people, most people have no homeowners insurance.
They don't even have it.
No, most people don't have it. They don't have it because there's really no fire risk. You know, it happens, but generally there's no. A fire risk doesn't apply to the structure. It might apply to things inside the home, but not to the structure.
Yeah.
I would guess that 85% of the people who live here do not have homeowners insurance.
Yeah, I was surprised coming down here on how low the taxes are, and also on that most people don't get homeowners insurance. You don't even. You recommend that somebody get an inspector to.
Normally we recommend an inspection of the home before someone buys it.
Okay.
Now, with a new home, it's really a newer construction.
Yeah.
It's really not necessary. But in an older home, we recommend it. Sure. An inspection here costs anywhere between $300 and $500, given the size of the house.
Okay.
And the inspectors can find things that you may not see just with a walkthrough.
Right. Especially if you're new and you don't really know all the little.
Right.
things to
And
look
you
for.
don't have to put a down payment on until you accept that inspection report.
Okay.
And if there's some issues, you can always negotiate a lower price given the repairs that have to be made.
Right. Okay. I imagine, in the sense of somebody coming new in the area, and what you're recommending is that they rent, get an idea of the different neighborhoods
Right.
in that regard. What about, in general, the fear factor that they have? How do you sense, what they're...
I tell people they are safer here than in any city in the United States. There's just, every once in a while, somebody gets broken into and they'll steal a toaster or a blender or a laptop or even a TV, because TVs have gotten so lighter.
Yeah.
But normally neighbors are watching out for each other.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen hardly at all anymore.
Yeah.
12 years ago it used to happen more frequently. But because of the number of Americans and Canadians that live here full time, the locals here have a much higher standard of living than probably anywhere else in Mexico. They all make good wages, and they don't need to do that.
Yeah. We've been here 10 years, and we haven't had one break-in or anything
same.
like that.
Yeah.
So do you find right now that it's a housing bubble or a boom?
It's been a boom since probably the end of 2017, most of 18. It's slowed up considerably the last 4 months, but it normally does that this time of year.
This is low season.
It will pick back up in the fall and in the spring. Things will start selling again.
Okay.
Exactly.
A range that people are more apt to buy in. Is there like
Most
a sweet
things
spot?
are selling around $300,000.
300,000.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's sort of an entry that you can get properties.
No,
less than that.
well, but we're talking about the village.
Okay.
You're not going to find anything around Ajijic Village for. You might find something in the $250,000 to $300,000 range. Nothing below that.
Okay.
Now, outside of Ajijic and Chapala, sure, you can find some homes, but they're not as in a desirable location.
Right. Okay.
But you can find stuff there for under 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But location.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, there are properties in San Juan Cosala in the Racket Club, which is on the mountainside of San Juan Cosala. And it's a gated community, has tennis courts, swimming pool, some wonderful houses that go for as much as $500,000. It's a beautiful neighborhood.
It is a beautiful area, and the views. I mean, you're up. The views are just beautiful there in the Racket. Would you recommend? Let's say, to protect yourself from that, say getting in a gated community where it's a condominium, or outside of a
It's all up to the individual buyer. Some people feel more secure in a gated community. Some people don't. Some people want to be on the side of the mountain to have a view of the lake.
Okay.
Some people want to be in the village and become more part of the community. It's just people are different.
Well, what other little tips would you recommend somebody coming in?
If you're 12 miles outside of town, you're going to need a car.
Okay.
If you're in the village, you don't necessarily need a car because you can walk, or you can buy yourself a golf cart and drive the golf cart around in the village. The taxi services are very affordable and available. It's very easy to get around.
The aspect of, let's say, somebody purchasing a home and making that commitment to buy here by renting, then that probably, they feel a little more secure in the sense that they've had time to be able to investigate the neighborhoods and talk to other people about
Oh, exactly. Sure.
Okay.
Right. They'll speak to people, and people will give the pluses and minuses of where they live, or, it's just,
Yeah, okay.
It's a small community. And particularly if you live in the village, everybody knows everybody, or almost everybody.
Right. So in your office, you have the real estate side.
We have the
buying and
real
selling.
estate side, and then we have the Ajijic Rentals,
Okay.
which is rental and property management.
Right.
Mirna Segura is my rental manager. I'm the broker and only agent, and I have a great office staff, accountant, office manager, runners that take people and show them properties, or go to the bank and go to Telmex and that sort of thing.
Right. Well, one of the things that I personally like about your office and stuff is that they can come in and talk to you.
I'm very accessible.
You are very accessible, and you're a straight shooter.
Right.
You tell it is, and you give them a real personal, touch where they will feel confident. Any questions that they have, you spend the time to talk to them, and they feel very confident that the information you're giving them is up to date, and and that they can trust that. Because Mexico is different.
Right. There's no question about it.
Yeah. So.
And a lot of people have bad information.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And we help all our clients. Annabelle, who's my office manager, we help people with their immigration applications.
Okay.
Used to have to hire a lawyer. Still, all the forms are in Spanish. So if we're helping somebody, they'll go get the forms, they'll bring them back to the office. Annabelle will help them fill it out, show them where they have to pay the immigration service at Bancomer. That's what we do. We're a service company.
You're a service company. So people coming in and they want to know about, like you say, like immigration or the health care, stuff like that. You're pointing them in the direction.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So more than
more than real estate.
More than real estate.
Yeah.
It's a service company.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
Michael?
Come see me.
Okay. Thanks, Michael.
Surely.
Okay.
Right.
Appreciate the interview.
Right.
And
Enjoyed it.
yeah. Well, for more information on Michael's real estate company, which is Continental Real Estate, down below in the description, we're going to give you all of his information, all of his emails, his website, everything that you'll need to contact him. And I highly recommend contact him and start asking some questions and getting your process. And then also, I would say, maybe look at the MLS. That would probably be important to do before.
And if you go to the Chapala MLS, which is chapalamls.net, that's the website, and it's very easy to maneuver, and you'll find it very accessible.
We'll put a link down there for that
Right.
to really make it easy for you. Okay, great. Adios again.
Adios again.
Could you do us a big, big, big favor? When you stop in and talk to Michael about real estate or just general information, mention to him that you saw it on Jerry Brown Travels. That would be very helpful to us. We track things like that so we have a better understanding of how our videos are working in the community. So please tell him You heard it on Jerry Brown Travels. Also, tell them at the rental department.